Hello and welcome. This video is brought to you by thestreamingadvisor.com. Tailor your entertainment with streaming. And in this video, we're going to show you a great news app for both news junkies and even cord cutters. It's available at the moment on Apple TV and Android TV. And what it does is it allows you to see all the latest headlines based on what's going on in the world, in the country, and entertainment. It's called Haystack TV, and here's how you add it. Go to the App Store and just ask for it. Haystack TV. There she blows. So, you add it here from the App Store and install. Haystack TV is a really interesting setup because it works with a couple of different things. It goes in as an app, and then what it does is it uses hashtags for topics that are being followed by a lot of people, as well as your choices to determine what you see. So once you're in, you go up into settings and configure your categories. You see it's got these 8 categories to kind of get you started. So let's say you want something like world news. You click on it and you see when it has the little yellow star, that means that's something that it's going to give you. And I like science, so I'll hit science and technology. Then you go to next. And see under next, you've got a number of things that are going on at the moment. Let's say you want to hear more about the presidential race, so you put on Clinton and Trump. Maybe you want to hear what's going on currently. We've got GOP, and let's say, what's going on with Bernie Sanders. And maybe we want to look at Mexico. You can only imagine the kind of stuff you're going to be seeing. Click Next. And here you choose your sources. They have a bunch of sources available. As you see, it's both, what you would consider the more conservative stuff and the more left-wing stuff. Let's say we were going to go ABC News and let's see, get kind of an even-ended approach. This is my headlines, see? Because I was looking for Trump and GOP news. There you go. There's GOP news from Fox News and hashtag Trump. But let's say that while you're watching these things, you just get kind of tired of certain kinds of stories. Like, let's say you've just had enough of information about the Supreme Court nominee, Mr. Garland here. If you go into mute, you can tell these things what you don't want to see. So we can just knock that off. We can say, okay, I don't want to hear about the Supreme Court. This is getting boring. Now, we're not going to hear anything about Supreme Court. If you want to not hear about this scandal here with the governor of Alabama, again, you can mute it. Mute Alabama. Now you're very unlikely to hear about that story. And as you go through, you continually craft what you want. Kind of like something like Pandora, where, you tell it the kind of music you like, you tell it the songs that you like, you tell it the songs that you don't like, and it helps it figure out what it is that you actually want to see or hear. So that is one interesting feature. Didn't mean to exit it. Okay. So, something else that you can do, and this is something exclusive right now to the Apple. What you can do is you can share things to Facebook, kind of like something you would do on a tablet. So let's say we just want to share this Lincoln Navigator video. If you go to the share option, you can log in with your Facebook. And you just go to Facebook's site on your computer using that code. And we can probably do that with our iPad. So let's jump on our iPad. We're going to do some mirroring here, and we'll go right to that website, Facebook/device. Alright, we have to enter the code. So we will turn off mirroring so we can take a look at that code.
On this car, though, it's much bigger. While the exterior is boaty and beautiful, the interior is techy and luxurious.
0R.
7 screens in this car. We've got one in the center dash, and you have also one in the back of the seat headrest. Now, that's not that new and exciting. That's pretty pimp my ride. This is where the tech story really begins, though. All those screens can be tethered together. Once you're inside, you find a big interior with teak wood everywhere and a real vintage theme.
All right, so we've entered the code and continue. So we continue in our little random Facebook thing we set up. Now, it's very important to say, yes, you would like this thing to post to Facebook. It's not going to automatically do it for you, but if you don't say OK, when you do try to share something, it won't work. So you go ahead and say OK here, and you can choose what sees it. So you can say only friends, only me, and so on and so forth. All right, and we are now successfully connected. So let me show you how this will work in practice.
In the back, they've included a cubby system for the
you see it's asking, do you want to share this? And so we're going to say post.
Doors are open. Smaller passengers can climb up through the concertina steps that drop down on either
and now it's been posted. And from here, you won't have to do that anymore. If you want to tell, to share this video here, click on it, go to share, and post. I would suggest not doing that all the time because no one likes someone just, filling somebody's whole Facebook up with one news story after another. You never know who you're going to annoy. But that is a little about how Haystack works for the Apple TV. Like I said, there's also an Android TV version. It's very much like this. It just doesn't have the Facebook sharing. But I like this. It's an easy way to keep up with what's going on in the national headlines and the world headlines and find out, what's interesting in the topics that I'm interested in. Now, you can't avoid all things that you don't like because if something is breaking news, like let's say you think you've had enough of the Hulk Hogan scandal with, gosh, I can't remember anymore. Not TMZ, but like I said, that's how much I care about it. But, so, let's say you mute Hulk Hogan. If Hulk Hogan says he's going to run for president, it's still going to come up on the theme. Well, there he is, Hulk Hogan. And so, if he says something like that, if he says he's going to run for president or he commits suicide, that's still going to show up in headlines because it's a major entertainment story, something, interesting to the public in general. But on the other hand, if you just don't want to hear about something like the Kardashians or, Honey Boo Boo or whatever, you can mute it, and unless something important happens, it's not going to show up. If Honey Boo Boo, gets thrown out of a restaurant for being noisy, that's not going to show up in your feed. But that is Haystacks for Apple TV. I hope this video was helpful and interesting. If you thought so, please subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscriber button. Help us break over 6,000 subscribers. We're already at 5,000 plus, and this is very exciting. but I want to keep on growing so we can keep on reaching people. I'm Ryan Downey, the streaming advisor. Stream on, my friends.